Hello and welcome. You are listening to the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. I am your host, Lorna, certified food freedom coach and founder of the Ditch Decade Diets Academy. I've spent 10 years in an unhealthy relationship with food, binge eating, over-exercising, and feeling insecure in my body. This podcast is all about helping you get to the root of your food struggles and teaching you how to rewire your brain so you can end binge eating. If you're ready to improve your relationship with food and cultivate more self-love towards yourself and your health, this is the podcast for you. So let's get to it and jump right in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Ditch Decade Diets podcast. I had a question that was asked to me about a few months ago, and I want to share this question with you and share my answer with you because I feel like it's going to be super valuable, regardless if this is true for you right now or not. So the question is it still binge eating if I just do it once a month? So maybe you're listening right now and you're like, I wish I only had one binge once a month. Like I'm binging every single day. Or maybe your binges have decreased and maybe you're just doing it once a month or you're doing it once a week. Is it still binge eating if it's not every single day? If it's just once a month or even, once a week, whatever it is. So binge eating is not necessarily about how frequently it happens, right? So it's not like in order for you to be a binge eater, you need to be out of control with food every single day. That's not the case, because there were definitely moments in my journey where I would have periods where it was like daily binges, like uncomfortable. And then that bloated feeling when you feel bloated, it's like, I need to feel better. So I'm just going to eat more chocolate to comfort myself. But then that makes me feel even worse. And then it's like, sometimes, I would restrict the next day, or sometimes I would just feel so disgusting. And then it was like literally a week-long binge. Then there would be some moments where I would have like these streaks, I would call them, like, wow, like I haven't binged for 2 days, or I haven't binged in a day, or I haven't binged in a week. Like there would be periods, right? But it doesn't matter how often you're binging. I have clients that come to me and they're binging every single day. I have clients that come to me, they're like, Lorna, I'm having less binges, but I'm ready to end this for good. So it's more about how you're feeling while you are binging. So again, whether you're doing this every day, once a week, once a month, if you're eating in secret, you're eating super fast, you feel guilty about eating certain foods, you have this like anxious feeling in your body going out for dinner, going to somebody else's house, or eating foods that you normally don't eat, or, going to the restaurant and having oil on your food or having more calories than normal. That is binge eating. Even when I think back to high school, so I was in high school and a lot of the times I would not eat all day, because I was just terrified to eat in front of other people and I would just not eat all day. And I would come home from school and all of a sudden I was just like eating so much so quick. And it didn't even matter what it was. Like sometimes it would literally be like a carrot cake muffin with like rice cakes and peanut butter and then an apple and then a granola bar. Like it wouldn't even matter what the food was. But I was just eating so fast, like standing up in front of the counter, like just eating and eating and eating. And at the time that I was in high school, I had no idea that this technically was binge eating. I just thought like, I don't know, I guess I'm really hungry. Or like, this is obviously what happens when you don't eat all day. Like it kind of just made like, I don't want to say logical sense, because obviously this doesn't make logical sense. But in my head, when I was in high school, I'm like, well, obviously I got to come home from school and eat a lot because you didn't eat all day. And I don't know, I just thought it was kind of like, it kind of made sense, right? But I was out of control. Like that's a fact. I was out of control. And I knew that like how I felt while eating wasn't normal. Cause it wasn't just like, okay, I had a granola bar and then I sat down and then I was still hungry. So then I got an apple and then I was still hungry. Like, no, I wasn't hungry. I literally didn't even feel anything because I was just numbed out from just like eating so much. And I knew that part wasn't normal. And sometimes, I'm going to be honest here, sometimes it's easy to think it's not a big deal when you're not binging every single day. Right? Like you might say to yourself, well, my binging isn't that bad because I'm not binging every single day. So like I don't need help. Well, my binges aren't as bad as they used to be. So like I don't need help. Or, well, I used to binge every single day, but now it's like every week. So it's not that bad. Or I'm just binging once a month. Like it's not that bad. It is. It is. Because even if you keep on binging once per month, you are giving into your urges. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. It doesn't matter if it's a week, a daily binge, a monthly binge, you're intensifying those urges. And you know, when your urges are stronger, they're hard to resist. So then you give in. And you might be binging once per month, and then that's going to slowly transition into a few times per month, and then once a week, and then daily. You don't want urges. Like you don't want to be binging, right? So even if you're binging once per month, you still need to reprogram your brain. You still need to get some support because this is how it eventually turns into weekly binges, daily binges. Like I said, when I first started, when I was in high school, I didn't know I was binging, but it was like randomly, like actually even before high school, I think, even when I was like in grade 8, it was like, I would just like eat a lot. And then like, I wouldn't for, a few weeks. And then all of a sudden I would eat a lot and I would feel sick. And I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't know what the heck this is. And then it started becoming more frequent where it was a monthly thing. And then it was a weekly thing. And then it got to a point where it was literally daily. And that's when I was like, okay, like I need to get help because I recognized that I was binging. Like before, I didn't even know that this was a thing. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't have control. Like, I don't know. Like I just didn't eat all day. So like, of course I come home and just like eat a lot. Like, no, this is binge eating. So this is why it is so important to rewire your brain so that eventually you get to a point where you don't feel those urges. You don't wonder if you're going to binge. You don't binge. Somebody asked me the other day, like, Lorna, like, do you ever get nervous that you're going to binge again? I'm like, no, like, I don't have urges, you guys. If you don't have the urge to binge, you're not going to binge. There are times where, let's say I'm like super busy and I'm like, holy moly, like I didn't get a chance to eat, which does not happen very often because I'm, consistent and I make sure that I eat, right? But let's just say I'm like doing this, doing that, and the other. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm starving. I still wouldn't binge because I don't have this urge. There's no desire to eat past physically sick. That is the difference. And that's where I want to help you get to. You don't want to be binging once per month, even if that's better than daily. You want to have no binges, right? This is complete freedom. This is complete freedom. So the moment that you recognize that, and the moment you're like, okay, it doesn't matter if I'm binging once every 3 months, even if it's once per month, or whether you're doing it every single day, regardless, you want to learn how to reprogram your brain so that it doesn't get worse. It doesn't intensify. Right? From the very first time that I ever binged, when I was like in grade 8 until 2019, when I kind of had my breaking point and I was like, okay, I'm ready to heal my relationship with food. Like the urges didn't go away. The urges didn't become less intense over time. They only intensified. And I'm not saying this to like scare you by any means, but like urges just don't go away by themselves. Like you actually need to learn how to properly reprogram your brain. But also it's like, if you keep doing something over and over and over again, well, it's going to become easier to do. So the monthly binges, like I said, are going to turn into weekly binges, and then that's going to turn into daily binges. And that's exactly what happened to me. And I want to prevent you from getting there. So regardless if you're binging every day, every week, or every month, like let's get the support that you need. Let's get rid of your urges for freaking good. So that's what I want to share with you guys today, because like I said, it was a question that I got asked, and frequency doesn't matter. If you know deep down in your heart, you're like, this is not normal. Okay. Like eating in secret, like I know that's not normal. Eating so fast, like the food's going to run out. That's not normal. Like guilt lasting days. If you know that that's not normal, you don't have to live like that. So you guys know I'm here to support you. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was eye-opening. Hope this brought a lot more awareness to you guys. I'm here for you. Have the best day ever, and we'll see you guys soon.